When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Experience a membership that backs your business journey with American Express Business Platinum. When you pay with membership rewards points for all or part of an eligible flight booked with a qualifying airline through Amex Travel, you can get 35% of those points back, up to 1 million points back per calendar year. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
Nestled in the heart of bustling Shinjuku, Tokyo, Toyama Park appears at first glance to be an ordinary urban green space. Families picnic on its grassy fields, joggers weave along its tree-lined paths, and cherry blossoms paint the park pink every spring. But beneath this calm exterior lies a dark and disturbing history that has left a lasting mark on the area. Today, Toyama Park is rumored to be haunted, with visitors reporting strange sensations, shadowy figures, and mysterious whispers. In this episode, we delve into the park's history, its chilling connection to the infamous Unit 731, and the ghost stories that continue to intrigue and frighten locals and tourists alike. I'm Kevin O'Shea, and you're listening to Supernatural Japan. Toyama Park covers approximately 8 hectares of Shinjuku, conveniently located just a 10 to 15 minute walk from Shinjuku Station. Its layout includes open lawns, gentle hills, playgrounds for children, and shaded walking paths. And despite its current family-friendly atmosphere, the land it occupies has a far more sinister past. The park's quiet corners and dense tree clusters provide the perfect backdrop for ghost stories, giving rise to tales of lingering spirits who experienced unspeakable suffering on the grounds decades ago. The area known as Toyama Park has a layered and complex history. In the early 20th century, it was part of a larger military training area used by the Imperial Japanese Army. During Japan's rapid militarization in the 1930s, parts of the land were repurposed for medical and scientific experimentation related to military objectives. By the late 1930s, the site was associated with Unit 731, the notorious biological and chemical warfare research unit of the Japanese Army. While most of the Unit 731's operations were based in Pingfang, near Harbin in Japanese-occupied Manchuria, there were satellite facilities and experimental sites scattered throughout Japan, including in Tokyo. Toyama Park is believed to have hosted temporary field labs and testing areas used for experimenting on biological agents and studying the effects of chemical warfare. Historical documents and survivor testimonies suggest that some victims of these experiments may have been transported to or held in the facilities near the current park grounds. After Japan's defeat in World War II, the land was repurposed as a public park in the 1950s, and many of the structures linked to Unit 731 were demolished, and the site became a peaceful urban park. But the history that's so dark did not vanish entirely. It lingered in the memories of locals and has been passed down in whispered stories that blend folklore and fact. Unit 731, officially called the Epidemic Prevention and Water Purification Department of the Kuomintang Army, was established in 1932 in Manchuria. Its mission was to advance Japan's biological and chemical warfare capabilities. But its methods were horrifying. Members of the unit conducted inhumane experiments on prisoners of war and civilians, including vivisection without anesthesia, which was removing organs from living humans to study physiological effects. Disease experimentation. They infected prisoners with plague, cholera, and other deadly diseases to study progression. There was weapon testing, exposing victims to chemical weapons and extreme environmental conditions, including freezing and dehydration. There were biological warfare field tests, where they released pathogens into civilian areas to study spread and mortality rates. Unit 731's activities resulted in tens of thousands of deaths. Following Japan's surrender, much of the evidence was destroyed, and many involved in the unit avoided prosecution in exchange for sharing their research with the United States. The connection to Toyama Park remains less formally documented than in Manchuria, but survivor accounts and wartime records indicate that temporary labs and storage facilities existed on the land, particularly for experiments deemed too sensitive or dangerous to conduct in more populated areas. This direct association with human suffering is the root of the park's haunted reputation. Toyama Park has long been a place for eerie reports and strange experiences. Locals and visitors have shared chilling anecdotes. For example, the shadowy soldier. A jogger recounted seeing a man in old military uniform, standing motionless beneath a tree at dusk, and when she approached, he disappeared without a trace. There are, of course, ghostly footsteps along the paths. Some visitors hear deliberate footsteps following them, only to find the paths empty when they turn. One man claimed to have felt a sudden icy gust of wind and heard a faint voice whispering, "Don't come here," even on a warm summer evening. There are the apparitions in the fog. During early morning fog, several urban explorers have reported seeing figures moving through the mist, disappearing when approached. They describe these figures as humanoid, yet vaguely distorted, evoking both fear and confusion. And there are the unexplained sensations. Many visitors to Toyama Park feel a sudden dread, nausea, or a heaviness on their chest in certain areas. Some attribute this to the lingering spiritual energy of past victims, while skeptics suggest psychological factors are at play. That would make sense too, of course. People hear the stories, they want to believe, they want to see, they go to the park, and they see the things they want to believe. Now, these experiences combined with the park's history of wartime suffering create an atmosphere that feels charged with lingering energy. Whether these stories are supernatural or a product of people's imaginations, they have cemented Toyama Park's reputation as being one of Tokyo's most haunted urban spaces. So why are so many of Tokyo's parks considered haunted? Well, Toyama Park is not unique with its eerie reputation. Many of Tokyo's urban parks carry similar stories. Now, several factors contribute to this phenomenon. Of course, there's the historical layers. Tokyo's parks often occupy sites with deep historical significance. Battlefields, former military grounds, cemeteries, or industrial areas. Ghost stories frequently arise where tragedy and death occurred. There's, of course, urban isolation. Even in a dense city, parks can feel strangely isolated at night. Dense trees, winding paths, and quiet corners can create eerie shadows and sounds. There's, of course, the psychological priming. Awareness of the park's history or haunted reputation makes visitors more likely to interpret ordinary sights and sounds as supernatural. And this is the kind of thing, folks, that we often see with ghost hunters on YouTube and ghost hunting TV shows. People want to see things. You even see this with shows about Bigfoot and people who are Bigfoot researchers. They want to see something. They want to believe. So everything is evidence pointing in the direction of the thing they want to see or believe in. If they hear any kind of sound, which just could be an animal or wind, to them that may be a ghost. If they see in the forest a branch broken, it couldn't have broken in a natural way. It had to have been Bigfoot. So that psychological priming is definitely a factor in a lot of ghost stories. And of course, in those Tokyo parks, there is the cultural storytelling. Japanese culture has a long tradition of attributing spiritual significance to places of suffering. From yurei legends to folklore about haunted landscapes, parks are semi-natural spaces within the modern city, and they're fertile grounds for these stories. Now, combine these factors, and that makes Tokyo parks like Toyama a natural magnet for both ghost stories and the curious thrill seekers who visit them. Let's look at fact versus legend. It's important to differentiate what is historically documented from what exists in folklore. So, historical fact. The area's association with military and medical experimentation, and its connection to Unit 731 satellite facilities, and its transformation into a public park in the 1950s are well supported by records. There is no doubt that human suffering occurred on or near the land of Toyama Park. Now the legend, shadowy figures, ghostly footsteps, and whispers cannot be empirically verified. Skeptics suggest that much of the park's haunted reputation may stem from a combination of historical knowledge and natural human psychology. Quiet corners, changing light, and wind through trees can create optical illusions or auditory effects that feel eerie. Visitors aware of the dark history are primed to interpret these sensations as supernatural. In other words, the mind can amplify fear based on expectation. So, yet for others, the energy of historical trauma is enough to create a genuine sense of unease, leaving the experience subjective but compelling. And I have to admit, that's one site that I personally really want to visit the next time I'm in Tokyo would be, and from an earlier episode, Jokanji. So that would be the temple where the thousands of women were left at the gates. The thousands of dead women were so tragically left at the gates over the years. I think a site like that has such a powerful energy for me. Even though sometimes I can be skeptical, I think just the knowledge of the history of that place, I think would be incredibly impactful for me, and extremely sad. So again, I think that those historical experiences can definitely leave a weight on you, whether you believe or not in the supernatural. So let's talk about visiting Toyama Park today. Toyama Park is fully accessible and safe for visitors, for those intrigued by its history and its haunted reputation. Now, it's located in Shinjuku, Tokyo, roughly 10 to 15 minutes on foot from Shinjuku Station. It features walking paths, open grassy areas, playgrounds, and clusters of cherry trees. Now, here's a few travel tips for those of you who are curious to go on a little spooky visit. Daytime visits provide a safe and pleasant experience while allowing for reflection on the park's history. Respect that this is a community space used by locals, folks, if you are visiting. And for those interested in the darker history, you should research Unit 731 to fully understand the context, and it is a very dark context. Toyama Park stands as a unique example of how history and folklore intersect. Its serene appearance today masks a darker past. And while the ghost stories may be unverified, the human suffering that occurred on this land is real. Whether you visit to explore its supernatural tales or simply to enjoy a quiet urban retreat, Toyama Park offers a glimpse into the lingering echoes of Japan's complex history and its enduring fascination with the supernatural.
Bar and restaurant owners, fans are already choosing where to watch on Sundays. Make sure it's your place. NFL Sunday Ticket gives you every live out-of-market Sunday afternoon game and is only available for your business through EverPass. More games, more reasons to choose your bar, more reasons to come back every week. Be the place fans choose. Only on EverPass.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
Thanks for listening to Supernatural Japan. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. And if you want to help the show grow, please leave an amazing review and rating on Apple Podcasts, a nice high rating on Spotify, as well as a comment. It really does help make a difference. Now, to see photos of Toyama Park and some of the other things we talked about in this episode, make sure to follow the podcast over on Instagram at Supernatural Japan, as well as the Facebook group. The links are in the show notes and over on supernaturaljapan.com. Now, let's check out a few comments left by you, the awesome listeners to the podcast over on Spotify. Now, the first one I want to share tonight is from the episode about Enoshima, or the Dragon Island episode, and this is from Kirsty. Kirsty said, I visited Enoshima my first night in Japan. It was beautiful. I wish I could have explored the island more. I love this show, and my only suggestion is to make longer episodes, please. I hear you, Kirsty. I hope you liked last week's episode with Philip Jackson. That was almost an hour, a full-length one. Definitely from time to time, we will be getting longer episodes out there, and I'm going to be trying to do more interview-style episodes moving forward as well. There's quite a few cool things coming. Now, here's another comment, a frightening comment connected to our Jiko Buken episode, the one about stigmatized real estate. And this one's from Robin, who said, having lived in a property in the US where it was discounted, but something was wrong with it, it was not worth it. Over 4 years, we experienced many bad things I can't explain. It's not just superstition. Don't take the chance. I think those are some pretty good words of advice from Robin, and thank you for sharing that with us. Now, here's a few more from our recent Haunted Kyoto episode with Philip Jackson. Nandahas said, Uji no Kitara, this region immediately reminds me of the rickshaw guys. Uji macho. Great episode. Sorry about the weird comment. Well, thank you so much. Philip mentioned, he saw this comment too, that he does not recall seeing rickshaw guys in Uji because he lives in Uji. Maybe in other parts of Kyoto. I'm not sure. Now, Justin said, I don't know what it is about Philip, but I absolutely love to hear that man talk. More Philip. You know what? I agree, Justin. Philip has a fantastic voice, and he is a great storyteller. So we definitely will be having Philip back on again in the future. You can guarantee it. It's going to happen. And Janik said, I just want to say I love your podcast so much. Well, thank you, Janik. I really love the fact that you listen to our podcast. And that's it for these comments. So thank you so much for all the comments. And please keep them coming, everyone. Make those comments. We need more ratings over on comments and things over on Apple Podcasts. So get over there. If you're an Apple Podcast listener, please leave a review. All right. And I will happily read your amazing comments and support here on the podcast, because I love you spooky guys so much. Now, I want to give a big thank you to Game Tech Match, who supports Supernatural Japan as a Daruma member over on Patreon. I really appreciate you supporting us over there. And if anyone else would like to check out our Patreon, the link is in the show notes and at our website. Now, everyone, if you've ever had an eerie experience in a place with a past, we'd love to hear your story. So please reach out to me through the contact form over on supernaturaljapan.com or directly by emailing me at supernaturaljapan@gmail.com. And of course, I've mentioned it on previous episodes, but I have created a Google map for all of you amazing folks out there, which has locations of all the different, well, not all, but most of the different places we've talked about in past episodes of Supernatural Japan. You can find pins showing the locations along with information about the location history, the related episode, and some photos. And this is perfect for all the Supernatural Japan fans who plan to visit Japan and want to see some of the spooky locations in person, on purpose, I suppose. You can find a link to the Supernatural Japan map over on supernaturaljapan.com in our blog, as well as the bio area of our Instagram. And folks, I really just want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to download and listen to the show. If it wasn't for all of you, I wouldn't be making this podcast. So, the next time you walk through a quiet park at night in the heart of Tokyo, you may not be alone. The ghosts of the past may be there with you as well, right beside you.
If you're enjoying the podcast you're listening to right now, and you've got a love of the paranormal, then I'm Rob Kirkup, and I think you might enjoy my show, How Haunted. Every other Friday, I take you to some of the most haunted locations across the UK, with the occasional trip overseas, as we explore the dark history behind each place, and the terrifying ghost stories said to haunt them. Across the year, there are seasonal specials too, including Christmas episodes packed with real listener ghost stories. And every October, the podcast goes weekly, a themed month building towards a big Halloween spooktacular. You'll also join me on real paranormal investigations, ghost hunts in seriously unsettling locations, with audio from the night so you can hear what happens as it happens. So if you're ready for creepy locations, grim history, and stories that follow you long after the lights go out, search How Haunted wherever you get your podcasts. And join me as together we ask, How Haunted?